What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny outside, but it's cold inside. But well, we're trying to manage. I hope y'all doing good. First thing first, Uganda. Let's talk about Uganda. There is something very drastic that just happened in Uganda. Not very nice. There is a minister that was by his bodyguard because supposedly he did not pay him his salary. Not a good thing, right? Yeah, guys, you must pay your money. If you owe money to somebody, you must pay your money. The thing is, we tend to neglect people like that. When you see somebody that's a bodyguard or a worker or an employee or whatever that does small jobs, you think you can just manage them and pay them like kids, forgetting that some of these people have families, they have responsibilities to take care of. It's not very nice. I think for somebody to get to a level where they will finish their boss for money, then finish themselves, this probably wasn't the first time. Anyway, peace be with him. Today we're talking about the president of Uganda. Very interesting person. You know what's happened lately. He was under pressure from the West. They put a lot of pressure on him, asking him to accept marriages between, you know what I mean? He wasn't interested. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I can't say it because we get censored. Marriages between in Uganda. They wanted it to be official. And Uganda, due to their tradition and their way of living, do not accept such thing. So they voted a law that say it is illegal in Uganda for a man to marry another. There you go.
The Western countries should stop wasting the time of humanity by trying to impose their practices on other peoples.
Now he's been criminalized, he's been condemned about it by the United States and many other institutions. The US normally sends money every year for a program that they have in Uganda, a program that supposedly helps people living with HIV. That costs about $400 million a year, dollars. That's a lot of money that Uganda gets from the United States in terms of health aid. Because they have voted that law, the United States say they're withholding the fund. They're not going to send the fund. Okay, because they voted such law. I find it unfair. I don't know. What do you think? Don't you find it unfair that somebody can impose you or kind of force you to have a certain way of thinking? If you don't do things the way I want you to do, I'm going to punish you for that. Isn't that bullying? That sounds like bullying to me. Anyway, the president of Uganda is very strong. He's a soldier that's been in wars many, many times. He's not going to be pushed over by politicians. Absolutely not. And at his age, he doesn't really give up. He doesn't give a absolutely not. So he said, no, we're not going to accept that in our country. We're not going to be okay with that. It's very interesting because very recently he said something that's really shocking. He said, your male is for... He said women should not be doing that thing with the male. You know what I'm saying? That the mouth is for eating. It's not for doing anything with the male. With it. Do you get that? The mouth, talking to ladies, he said the mouth is for eating. It is not for doing with the male private. Anyway, so what's happened here is Uganda has been through a lot of pressure recently. Uganda discovered a good amount of oil in the country, and they were looking to export the oil in order to progress the country, in order to develop the country, in order to bring business in the country. They asked officially many other countries saying, listen, we got oil in our country. We want to work with you guys. Does anybody in Europe or US want to work with us? They say no, they're not interested. Then they say, that's fine. We're going to find our own partners. Uganda went ahead and found their own partners to work for the oil, to develop their infrastructure that went from Uganda to Tanzania. Why Uganda to Tanzania? Because Uganda does not have any coast to the ocean. They needed to build pipelines from Uganda to Tanzania in order to export the oil out of the country and make money for the country. Then the European Parliament sat down and said, you know what? We are against the project that Uganda is constructing right now, the pipeline project. Because what's the reason we are against it? It's because it's going to destroy forest and kick animals out of their habitat. So this is very funny. So you don't care about the Ugandan people developing their own country. You don't care about the fact that this pipeline will bring jobs, opportunities to many of these young men. You don't care that this pipeline job will transform the economy of a country, an African country, which supposedly, according to you, live in poverty. But you care about animals. Yes, they care more about animals than they care about the Ugandan people. So the president said, you know what? We are going ahead. And because of that, because of the pressure, because of the fact that he stood strong, and let me remind you fellas, as soon as you stay strong against the West, you are perceived some kind of way. They label you as dictator. This is not new. It's the same thing they did with Gaddafi, the same thing they did with Mobutu, the same thing they did with many. Not to say that these people were sent, but this is the same thing they do as soon as you start looking aside, looking away. So now recently, after all this confrontation, the Ugandan parliament voted a law against men marrying. And in defiance, the president of Uganda took a flight from Uganda to Russia. He said to them very openly, why are you forcing us to hate people who have done nothing to us? Russia has done absolutely nothing to us. You have hurt us in the past. Russia done nothing to us. In fact, for the past 100 years, they've tried to help us. During colonialism, they sent weapons and training equipment for us to defend ourselves. Why are you asking us to hate on Russians? We have no problem with Russians. Like Muhammad Ali say, I have no problem with Viet Congs. Viet Congs don't call me names. So it's the same thing. Why should I trust somebody that hurt me in the past saying that I shouldn't trust somebody that helped me in the past? Doesn't make any sense. And I think this is what most Africans want. They want respect. African nation want to be respected. Respect to make your own choice. Respect to choose your own friends. Respect to live your own way. Like the Ugandan president say, you cannot expect everybody to think the same in the world. It doesn't exist. You can't have such world where everybody think the same way.
Homosexuals are deviations from normal. This deviant, is he deviant by nature or by nurture?
Your mentality is your mentality. Your way of life is your way of life. We respect that. Then you pay us the same respect. That's all we're asking for.
This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
So very interesting, fellas. Tell me what you feel. What do you think? I think the president of Uganda, after being strong, is also in a place in his life where he doesn't really care. He has nothing else to prove. So he says it as it is. He says how it pleases him. He brings it out the way it's supposed to be. Let me know how you think. Please feel free to join us if this is something you like. Let me know how you think. God bless.